when Katt Williams was on Rogan, he was talking about Baphomet and how they worship in Hollywood this particular demon. He gets into some transgender conversation, and I found that very interesting considering of recent events. Let's have a look.
You don't get clear. So like when I when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is. So 20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future. And that somehow calling people the goat would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
So I at first, heard Katt talking about this, and I thought, the conversation leading up to that point was very interesting, to say the least. There were times where I thought, I wonder how much Katt really knows. He seemed to be very uneasy about talking about what he was talking about. I don't know if he didn't trust Joe, if he thought maybe perhaps he's being set up. I don't know. But what he had said about Baphomet, I didn't really take too seriously. For the most part, I mean, I'm all about letting people do whatever they want to do when it comes to being transgender. If you want to transition and as an adult and do things as an adult, by all means do so. I do have my concerns when it comes to encouraging young people, as we don't have a lot of information in regard to this new wave of transgenderism. That being said, to think that this Baphomet that Katt was talking about, it's one thing for him to make that accusation, but it's a complete other thing for the Biden administration to do what they did when it comes to this. I'll read here. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2024, as Transgender Day of Visibility. I call upon all Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people throughout our nation and to work toward eliminating violence and discrimination based on gender identity. Pretty crazy to think that they just took Easter, the day of Christ's resurrection, and made that Transgender Day. And yes, I get it. Next year Easter will be a different day. But to do that on Easter sure does fall into what Katt was just talking about. And I think with everything going on with the exposure of these organizations that Diddy and Jay-Z are linked to, and all the stuff that's starting to come out, and more information, and the increase in censorship that our governments in Canada and the United States are trying to create, banning TikTok. I mean, the only reason to ban TikTok is if you're trying to slow the information down at this point. They're creating as many reasons as they can to justify this potential, deletion of TikTok within the United States. Canada kisses too much Chinese ass to do anything to TikTok. But I do think that with this new bill that Trudeau is working on up in Canada to censor, things, and then you've got Instagram trying to censor political content. All these things are adding up, and they're really afraid now. You can tell these people are afraid. They're afraid to let things remain the way that they are because too much is getting out.